Hi everyone, it's Kyle from Regrettable Props, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made the Batica Centurion helmet from the game For Honor. Once again, in the description is going to be a link to the download for where you're able to find the templates that I've made, as well as the materials that I've used. The helmet is set for printer paper, and as well, it's on PDF format in a Google Docs, and my head circumference is 23 inches in circumference, and then from there, we're going to print them out, cut those templates out, and then tracing them onto craft foam, whether that's 5 or 10 millimeters in thickness. I use 5 millimeters in thickness. Once tracing them out and cutting them out, we're going to preheat the foam a little bit to make sure it's a little bit easier to glue everything together, give it a bit more shape, and then we're gonna, for the side parts of the base of the helmet, we're gonna glue those first on the left and the right half, and then obviously we're gonna connect the longer strip that follows the shape of those side pieces, and then afterwards we're going to glue both halves together. From there, we're going to be using this next small piece. It's for where the ear detail is. We're going to be cleaning up that texture later, and afterwards we're going to use 2mm craft foam to add this thinner detail on the front of the helmet as well as the back, and a strip of foam that goes over top of the middle of the helmet. Once we've done that, we're going to use this back thin piece. Everywhere is going to have a 90-degree cut except for the curve that goes towards the base of the helmet, and then that's just going to have a 45-degree bevel that's inward instead of outward, if that makes sense. And then we're going to contact that to the helmet using hot glue or contact cement. I don't have good brands of contact cement near me, so I just use hot glue. And if you need some extra help while gluing it, use some pins to help hold it down. Afterwards, we're going to cut out this thin, small, curved detail of foam. I used 5mm craft foam, and then that was just traced on, and that's going to add the brim, and that's going to add some detail to where the 2mm craft foam is, and you're just going to glue it on top of that 2mm craft foam. From there, I tried to make the faceplate of the Centurion helmet out of 2mm craft foam. Obviously, you can see it did not look like it. So anyways, I went to the dollar store and bought a Masquerade helmet. You're going to want to find one that's not childlike in appearance, which mine looks like somewhat, and has a very defined nose bridge. I'll be putting a picture of what I mean by that, since the Centurion is based off a male's face with a very defined nose. So once you've done that, I cut out some pieces of 2mm craft foam, glued them onto the sides of the Masquerade mask. Mine's very thin craft foam, so you gotta be very careful about it. And by the eyes, I rolled over with the corner of it, and then obviously cut off the excess to fit the shape of the Masquerade mask. From there, we're going to hot glue it in. Afterwards, we're going to use 2mm craft foam to add some final detail to the front of the faceplate. There's some straps that are, obviously you can see where their placement is for where you're going to want to glue them, and some other 2mm oval shapes. And then once we've done that, there are some straps on the back of the helmet to indicate where like some faux leather is. So you just cut out 5 of them, and then you use more 2mm, cut out a thin strip. You wrap it around that strap piece of the foam to make it seem like it's a fake buckle for the back of the helmet. Then you just cut it out and obviously add some faux rivets to the back of the helmet using some googly eyes. Once having everything assembled, I'm using a sanding bit on a rotary tool, and I'm just going to be using this to remove some of the texture pattern that's going to be visible to everyone. Once I've done that, I'm rounding over, shaping the ear pieces to have a more curved form, and then I am sanding off the texture, off of the brim of that helmet, that foam piece that's added on the front of the helmet. Afterwards, to clean up some of the seams to make it a little bit more flush, I used 150 grit sandpaper and just went over it until I felt it was as clean as the seams I could make it. Afterwards, we're going to be heat sealing this to remove some of the fuzzy bits, and then using Kwik seal to help fill in the seam. And then just use whatever grit of sandpaper you have, anywhere from 100 to 150 works. Anything rougher than that, which is lower in number, so like a 40, 60, or 80, is going to leave too deep of grooves. And I find having done just 400 is not going to be a low enough grit, to make the texture or remove some of the foam off of it. After doing all that part with the sanding and the sanding paper, I'm using a grinding stone attachment. I'm using this to help round over some of those edges, clean up some of those areas with the the sanding attachment, and then we're going to make some hammered effects just by like tapping it in lightly to get some indentations being a bit irregular. This helps. I can also add some battle damage by doing this, and then afterwards, where we scored or added that line and scored, we are going to follow that line and help add some extra width or whatever, add some extra indentations to it by using the grinding stone bit to follow that path. Afterwards, we're going to heat seal everything and then heat up the back brim or back piece that flares out, and then on the inside, and then we're going to press it against our body and have it rolled up like that and hold it there until it's cooled. That's going to take a while. Once everything has been cooled and heat sealed, we're going to use Kwik Seal, which is a water-based caulking to help seal the seams in our helmet. We're going to need about 2 to 3 coats, I found at least, to help fill in the seam to make it as flush as possible. And from there, make sure you wait till each coat has dried, and then you're going to be ready for painting. But that's going to be in part 2 of the video. I hope you guys were able to follow along. Once again, in the description is going to be a link to the download of the templates as well as the list of the materials I used. Anyways, don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about this or future builds, please leave a comment in the description, and have a good day. Bye.